Good morning and welcome to Coffee and, the longest-running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question to the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsockеtradio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee and panel.
Hello, it is time for Coffee In, once again on ON Radio, Thursday morning, February the 12th. Hi there, Joe Callahan here with you. Nice to have you there listening to us, or possibly watching us on the Facebook and the streaming and the whole thing, and on the website. So there we go. Bob Lauder's with us this morning. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning. Good to be with you.
Nice to have you here with us. We expect Sue Tester-McKenzie to be joining us momentarily as she just drove into the parking lot, so she'll be here relatively
soon. And the dramatic entrance,
as we
looking
mentioned.
Great.
She's coming right in right now. Well, you're not all dressed in white.
Yeah, thank God. It's like, you can't move.
That's right. Well, it's gonna go. What? It's gonna go to freezing today, Dave. We're gonna 34.
Yeah,
Wow, slight melting.
It's gonna be warm.
43 next week.
So Bob's wearing a sweatshirt with the little Cape Cod insignia on it, and he said he got it at a decent price at end
of year sale.
It just reminded me one time I actually went to a New England Patriots game.
Whoa!
This is quite a few years ago, but it was November or December, really cold. And did Joe bring gloves? No. It was that cold that you really should have gloves on. Well, the pro shop is open. Mm-hmm. It's open at the stadium. We were actually parked across the street, and they were very smart that they put a pro shop plus in where the parking lot was. And I'm telling you, Bob, it was this cold. I said I would have paid like $50 for gloves that day. It was so cold. When I went in to see what they had, then they had gloves for sale. You know what they were? $12.
Wow!
I was like, yes, I will.
I thought you were going to tell me they were like this. Your mortgage payment.
That's what I was. I was getting ready for $50 to $75 for a pair of gloves.
So you went and bought them, or no?
Oh, of course I did.
Oh, I didn't know. I thought you said I missed something.
I should have bought two.
You found out after.
I should have bought two pair.
Right?
It was because it was back then. And this was
today. They're 50.
I'm sure they are now because this was 20 years ago, and I'm like, wow.
You still have them?
What a bargain! I actually don't. I mean, the gloves were good for that day. They weren't the best quality at the time. And once you start using them, and now you're outside shoveling with them, and then they tear, and all right. So, but they did the job on the day I was at the game, which was most important.
Outside shoveling. Now you have a daughter. Doesn't she help you with the shovel? No, she doesn't, does she? Neither does mine. Okay.
On very rare occasions.
Rare occasions. Okay.
Like if she has to get her car out.
Oh,
this is funny. For whatever reason, her car was at the house, and she wasn't. And then we had to go get her and bring her back. And so we shoveled out the driveway during the past storm. But the one thing I didn't do was brush off her car.
Okay.
I said, I'm leaving that for her. And she actually asked, who's going to brush off my car?
What?
I said, whose car is it? Mine. Guess who's brushing off the car? So you're going to have to put a little effort into it, and she did. So if you want to get to work, you are going to have to brush off your car.
I'm afraid to ask you about Saturday, though, man.
There's
Valentine's Day.
There's nothing to be afraid of this Saturday.
The advice you gave me for last Sunday, some of it was really great.
And some was wrong, Joe.
Yeah, I know it is. We found that out after the fact.
Yeah.
But when it started off, and I said to the people, this is going to be a game built on defense, like you told me, that went pretty good.
Yeah. Okay.
And then in the third quarter, when I said that Drake Mays was definitely going to be the MVP, the whole room goes silent.
They just stared at you?
Sort of.
Bob, he's already not the MVP. Sorry about that.
Bob got bagged, and it was Joe's fault. That was my quote.
I thought for sure it was they picked these things after the Super Bowl, and apparently that has changed.
Yes.
And they pick it now before the Super Bowl.
Apparently you were wrong.
I was wrong.
And I almost called on Friday to say, hey, got to tell Bob, got to fix that.
Yeah,
that was my quote.
Don't say anything about the Super Bowl, about the MVP.
I did have a question,
Bob.
though. In the maybe the last 5 minutes of the last quarter, it looked like one of the people from the Seahawks, one of the players, ran over the goal line for the Patriots, and it appeared to be a touchdown, and yet there was no mention of that at all. What was that going on?
Do you remember that play, Sue?
I kind of do, and I was wondering the same thing. I was like, who just did what?
Yeah.
They must have blew the whistle at some point. I don't remember the play.
Oh.
So if none of the Patriots were chasing after him and the referees weren't running down the field, then either a flag was thrown or a whistle blew somewhere.
So that we didn't hear. It's kind of like the streaker that we didn't see.
Let's talk about that for a minute. People call him a streaker. He was wearing sweatpants.
He was wearing clothes. That's what
I go, okay,
me.
yeah. He didn't have a shirt on. I'm like, okay, well, that's not at least in my definition, that's not a streaker on the field.
No, a streaker is...
So, everything going.
Butt naked.
Except for sneakers.
Right.
So, have you seen the video of, because people have their phones out. I've seen the pictures of of him actually doing it.
Yep.
And he's avoiding the security. But one of the Patriots players went to go after him. And he immediately fell down. he immediately said,
I saw that.
I'm going to get hit by you. You've got a lot of protection on you. So.
I saw and it was an actual game somewhere. I don't know if it was college. I don't know where it was, when it was, or anything. But there was a squirrel on the field. And the squirrel's running. And the meme was the squirrel got...
More yardage.
Yardage than the Patriots.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, I've seen those jokes too. Okay. What I found out later, because when you look at the video online that someone took, he wrote something on his chest.
Oh.
And the only word I could make out was trade, which is across his upper chest. But he had stuff written down below, and I said, I don't know what you're trying to promote or what are you trying to prove here. And I've just heard other things, that he was a social media influencer and he was trying to promote himself. I said, but I can't tell that from what you have written on your body. So
I didn't see anything about that. I have
think
no knowledge.
It had the actual effect you thought it was going to have.
Right.
So, but there's always one. There always seems to be one. Did I ever tell you about my time in Idaho?
Oh, no.
With the streakers on the field?
Wait a minute. Streakers in Idaho?
Oh, yeah.
It's cold out there.
Not in September.
All right.
It was really, 70s. It was beautiful at the beginning part of the year. But the football team, which was a very good football team, was playing a not so good football team. We were in Boise State was Division I. We were playing in Division II school. It was the very beginning of the season. Mm-hmm. So the school was winning like 74 to 14. I mean, it was just a massive blowout. And wow. I'm sitting there and I'm talking with friends, and then all of a sudden you could hear an uproar from the other side of the field, and because there was no play going on at the time, and you just hear the roar, and you just so everybody looks over. There's two guys, only sneakers, Sue. Yeah, this is the real deal. They came racing across the field. Now they had a plan. This guy. No plan. But they had a plan.
Yeah, he had no plan.
We're going to run from this corner to the far corner, and we're going to keep running out, and we're racing for that chain link fence.
Okay.
And to hit the fence and hop over it. That was their plan.
All right.
They didn't make it. The security and the cops got them right at the fence. Oh. They just didn't. They were just they were like 2 steps too slow. And I don't think they counted on the amount of security that was actually at the field, but they got it. But it was funny. I didn't see anybody offended. I didn't see anybody crying. Oh my God!
Right?
It was just laughter was just going on. I said that's one of the funniest things we've ever seen.
74 to 14.
Oh, they killed him. Oh yeah, it was ugly. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever heard of a score that way.
Right.
That's what happens when a Division I school plays a Division II school. It's just we're just going to run right over you, and they did.
There was one other thing about the Super Bowl.
Yes.
When the various teams were coming through out to the field the first time, and they were going down a hallway, and they were each saying their school as to where they'd been trained. One of them. Well, no.
I know, right? I was like, what?
Yeah, okay.
Well, don't they get training in
Well, usually they play at a college,
okay.
Yes.
One of them referred to a high school.
Some do.
Now, was that because they haven't been to college, and they're that young, or just loyalty to the high school?
It's a possibility that they didn't play in college and they were so good, they went from high school right to the pros. But that's so rare. Other times, most of the time, is they're having an argument with the school. And they either don't like the coach anymore or they don't like the school. So they'd rather not say what college. So they'll say, and I've even heard players say what their elementary school was.
Whoa, okay.
And so, you're there and, the network has to film this. We don't get so much time. We haven't time to argue with you.
So from a lawyer's perspective, it's irrelevant information.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I was just surprised. I didn't know if it meant the player was so young that they hadn't gone to college.
Not necessarily.
Okay.
You didn't ask anybody in your group this question, though.
No.
Okay. Just
I had already had the.
checking, Bob.
I already had the cone of silence. I didn't need more.
Did you enjoy your party, though, that you were at before you put your foot in your mouth?
I had a good time. I
All
watched
right.
the whole thing. I enjoyed it. Yes.
All right, cool.
Was it at your house or at somebody else's house?
Ours.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right. Now, Bob, this Saturday, I thought you were going to talk about this. This Saturday's Valentine's Day. Keep it
Right.
in your mind. Mm-hmm. Get out and get something.
What does Sue have as a good suggestion?
I always have a lot of suggestions. Women don't need a dozen red roses. I think most women like, if they're going to get flowers, a nice bouquet that will last.
Okay.
There are a couple of florists in the general area that you can even walk to some of them because I think there's 3 that I can think of right
There are
off
3
the top
right in
of
the
my
city.
head. Yeah. So yeah, nice bouquets are usually pretty.
Okay.
Women like that. Don't be running to CVS on Friday afternoon to get a box of heart-shaped chocolate.
I was
You're
going
better-
to do that for my daughter.
Well, that's one thing. So
Okay.
it. Don't get me wrong, it's appreciated, and we do like chocolate, but a little
Okay.
extra maybe. There's Pandolfi's in Bellingham that does chocolate. That's now it's like, whoa, he really thought of me. Versus just running to the store.
Okay.
I did. I go for my kids. I've always gone all out because limo wise, we always worked. We celebrated Valentine's Day once after I got out of the business. That we went to a restaurant and said, "Yeah, no, this ain't for me," because it's too busy, too rushy. Hurry up. We have more people want to sit, and it's too much for me. But the other time was we were working, and I had my limo facing one direction. He had his facing the other direction, and we got a grinder from a pizza place down the street because we were both working at the Castle Hill Inn. Our clients were there for dinner, and so that's where we sat and caught a car, window to window. Valentine's Day. I mean,
You had sandwiches.
I had sandwiches. It's never been. I like more thoughtful.
Okay.
Like I make cupcakes. I'll make chocolate-covered strawberries. I make brownies heart-shaped. Or first thing in the morning, my kids would get up in the morning for school. And they had a little heart-shaped...
Toast?
No, I didn't go to that level. I did
All right.
muffins, heart-shaped muffins. But they... it's more the thoughtfulness. So they'd get up and it'd be a heart-shaped, like a placemat. And they'd have pink milk, their little muffin, and a little box of chocolate, and that's what I always did.
Let's see. I've got a choice of either getting up in the morning, making heart-shaped waffles, or asking Jean to go out and we can eat a grinder in the car.
Right. I didn't give you much.
Either way,
That's a
either
tough
one
choice.
of those
Well-
is going to...
I will say...
I think the flowers are a better idea.
Yeah,
the chocolate.
But the bouquet doesn't need to be roses. I mean, you want to get roses. Some women love getting roses. But it just kind of becomes... I think when Valentine's is on a work day, it's more challenging because, well, so-and-so at work is going to get XYZ, so you better make sure I get it too, type of thing. And that's another game that I never played.
Women are so jealous of each other sometimes.
When it comes to an individual showing love, I don't know what word to use, it's like they outdid the other. I've never played a part in that, but I know many people that have.
All right.
I'm doomed.
You are.
Thank you. Oh, you agree with me? Thank you.
I think I've told this before, but it was when my son was in high school.
Yep.
and was dating a girl, and it was coming up to Valentine's Day, and I had to sit him down and say and explain the facts of life. And this is what the facts of life is about Valentine's Day. I said, girls take this day so seriously. We, as the guys, we do not. Plan on getting nothing. If you get something, be happy, but don't plan on getting anything. Now, the problem is you have to get her something. And but you can't get too much.
But you can't get not
But
enough.
you can't get not enough. You got to get, it's, where's the line? I go, I don't know where the line is.
Yeah.
It keeps moving. I go, you got to get something nice enough because she needs to brag to her girlfriends about what she got from you.
Exactly.
But you can't get $1,000 something. That's too much. You gotta
You
pull it
just
back.
set the bar too high if you do that.
That's right.
Yeah.
You'll freak her out if you get something
Yeah.
too much. But it's got to be nice. And so I said, best of luck. He did okay. I forgot what we came down to of what he got. Some kind of necklace and
Yeah.
maybe like one of those big chocolate Hershey Kisses. That was
Yeah,
kinda
yeah.
big at
So
one
because
time.
it's a little different.
And a
Yeah.
little stuffed bear, you can't go wrong with that. And the girl was happy, and she did exactly that. Look what AJ
Yeah.
got for me, and she went and bragged to her other girlfriends to make them jealous.
Well, because there was more than one thing that she got. It didn't
Yes.
have to be
Just one thing,
an
yeah.
elaborate thing.
Right.
It just
It was a
was
couple of
more
things.
than one, and that made him have to quote work for it.
Yeah.
Because typically you're not going to get it all in one place.
Yeah, I
But-
don't know. I don't.
Now, what if your wife has
Yeah.
two sisters? This takes it to a
You
different
don't
level
have to buy
of.
anything for the sisters.
Oh, no, I meant the level of.
Oh, jealousy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, when they should have grown out of this by now.
They should, for me though.
They have. I'm just joking.
I've just never. I don't know. I guess I'm of the belief don't expect nothing, and it avoids disappointment.
There you go.
I think and that goes through many things in life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it really does. So, I don't know, maybe that's my thing that I do for my children. And don't get me wrong, yeah, my husband would get the heart-shaped muffins in the morning and all that.
Oh, there you go.
And I would make him homemade chocolate because I make chocolate. But, yeah, I just never felt, we got to do this, you
Yeah.
got to get me that, and all of that good stuff.
I want to
just
move
never
into
did.
your house.
I'm telling
Homemade
you right now, we
chocolate?
are going to have
Nice.
heart-shaped
Pretty sweet.
muffins, brownies, cookies. I
That's a
do
great
all of
idea.
that stuff.
All right.
My son, my grandson, 7 years old, he came home from school the other day, and my daughter said, "Ma, we had to do the heartbreak thing." I'm like, "He's 7. What are you
What's
talking
the
about?"
heartbreak thing?
So he went over to my daughter and he laid down on her and says, "Chloe doesn't love me anymore." And he's all heartbroken, right? So it was, whatever happened. So he picked out a Valentine card for her. So I said, maybe we can do a little extra. So I bought I bought strawberries to make chocolate-covered strawberries with. But I have one that's so big that I'm going to make it into a heart shape, dip it in chocolate, put it on a stick, and bag it, and make
Okay.
it look really pretty. So, anybody can get a cupcake or a cookie or anything like that, but not everybody's going to get a chocolate-covered strawberry.
That's right.
Yep.
See how it goes. All right, we're going to move on to the news stuff coming up here on the Coffee AM program, but it's time to take our first break. And more coming up. Comments, questions can be called in at 766-1240.
ON 1240. Checking the entertainment at Chan's Fine Oriental Dining on Main Street in Woonsocket. Tomorrow night, February 6th from 8 to 10, it's our chance to celebrate Evil Gal Michelle's birthday bash. She'll be there, Michelle Wilson, tomorrow night. $20 in advance, $25 at the door. Then on Saturday night, Neil and the Vipers from 8 to 10 at Chan's. Neil Vitullo and his rockin' band of brothers take the stage, always playing with a feverish passion and energetic showmanship. 15 in advance, 20 at the door. Neil and the Vipers Saturday night. And if you think Friday the 13th is unlucky, you're going to be lucky this year on Friday the 13th, February 13th, next Friday, because No Static, the tribute to Steely Dan on stage at Chan's. Get your tickets now. And don't forget the great food at Chan's, 267 Main Street, Woonsocket.
Your premier real estate expert is Scott McGee of the Stearns McGee team at RE/MAX Properties in North Smithfield. Scott has had extensive training and knows the latest real estate strategies. He can offer you knowledge and tools most other agents can't. To see the latest listings from the Stearns McGee team at RE/MAX Properties, visit this website, McGeeSoldMyHouse.com. Scott McGee of Stearns McGee team at RE/MAX Properties can help you buy or sell your home. The Coffee and Panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee Roasters. All their coffee is roasted right here in Rhode Island. Down East Coffee Roasters is available at all Little General stores.
ON Radio. ON Worldwide.
It is Coffee and here on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callahan here with Bob Lauder and Sue Tesser McKenzie. And I put Sue in the deer in the spot headlights right now.
You never
what,
put
Sue?
me in the headlights.
It's time for our first message.
I'm looking for pictures to show Bob. But anyway, good
time for
morning,
our first
everybody.
message from the Blackstone Valley Calling Times.
Yep. Good morning, everybody. So, as I said, we've got a lot going on for the time of year. One big special that's coming up next month that is extremely near and dear to my heart is our Brain Injury Awareness page. It's going to run for 4 weeks. It runs every Friday through the month of March, which I believe is 7, 13, 20, and 27. And the portion of the proceeds will be sent directly to the Brain Injury Association in Rhode Island to continue providing support and information to others suffering with brain injury. And I do want to point out again that brain injury can happen to anybody: slip and fall, car accident, sports-related injuries. So there is everybody's susceptible to that. But anyway, as far as advertising, if you're interested in any advertising, whether it's digital, print, or friends to follow, anything of the sort, you can call my cell phone at 401-487-4136.
All right, Sue, thank you very much. All right, we talked about this yesterday on the Coffee and program and made the news today about the fight that took place at Woonsocket High a couple of days ago. 14-year-old girl, 16-year-old boy decided to beat up a 15-year-old girl. Gee, I wonder what the fight was about, Sue. Anyway.
Right.
And so there is a school resource officer at the school. He comes, charging over to break up the fight. Doesn't the 14-year-old girl allegedly punch him in the face?
Okay.
Unacceptable.
There's another charge.
Yep.
Especially because we brought it up yesterday. Especially there's witnesses now.
Yep.
The cop just can't say, well, we'll let it go. No, there's people around. They're probably filming it. There's adults around. There's teachers watching it. You punch a cop, you're going to, especially in the face,
Yeah.
you're going to get an extra charge. And we brought it up yesterday, Sue. And what do you think? Because is it a male-female thing? Because, Bob and I know growing up, because we're the guys, you punch someone, especially another guy or a police officer, you're going to get in trouble. But is it the functioning of a girl who says, I can hit anybody because I'm not going to get in trouble because I'm a girl?
Absolutely not, because
No, is that what they're thinking, though?
Well, if they are, it's how they were raised. Because
Well, that's wrong,
right, no, you learn right from wrong, and if you, I don't have a halo around my head, and I have not incidents. I don't want to make it sound like, I'm a criminal. I'm not a criminal. I don't have a record.
Write that down, Bob.
You just knew better, especially a police officer, anybody of authority. Again, I mentioned last time we had these conversations, which unfortunately are coming more and more frequent here in the city, how I had an incident at school, and the teacher held me, and I was still getting hit. Well, of course, I am going to defend myself to the teacher, like, yo, let me go.
That's right. Yeah.
But I would never have, punched an individual like that in the face.
I would imagine in this case, there's a lot of emotion going on with these kids who are involved in the fight. And I don't think the young girl probably even gave much thought, am I going to hit the cop or not? She just went ahead and did it because that was part of the visceral emotion that was running at the time.
And you're probably
But the
right.
boy didn't punch the cop.
Right.
Maybe he didn't get close enough to him. I don't know.
No, I don't know either.
I don't think it was a necessarily thought out. I'm going to, that
I agree.
flash
It's
second,
not
I'm going to
thought
do it.
Yeah.
So much as just happened. I'm angry. I'm fighting with somebody, and I have to get, release energy.
All right. Well,
That's a lawyer speaking. You're not defending her. A defense lawyer, yeah. But no, seriously, I understand what you're saying, Bob, because in part you are correct. A lot of people let their emotions get away with them to escalate a situation, and it escalates a situation, which that obviously did. But that's crossing the line. We have these conversations more and more frequently here in the city,
yeah.
and there's always what you can't do because. What can't be done because. Let's start talking about what can be done. Start new laws. Get new laws in place. I mean, right now you will get penalized for assaulting a referee. What's the charge for assaulting a teacher? Or, that's new. So what's going on with that type of thing? If new laws have to be put in place to protect, like you're doing with referees.
Is that necessary, Bob, or do we have enough laws that protect people already?
I don't think that I understand the laws protecting referees, but I don't necessarily think that new laws are going to really have much impact on students in high schools or grammar schools or anywhere
maybe not
along
laws
those
is
lines.
the word, Bob. Maybe that's not the right word that I'm looking for, but some kind of disciplinary action, I think, is really because you hear of the fights, you hear of all of that taking place, but nobody's hearing what the disciplinary action was. So nothing happened. So let's keep going. Let's keep doing this. Now other students.
Maybe it's more along the lines of, as Sue's saying, enforcing what is already there.
Okay, that's it. So saying laws
but
was incorrect.
I'm also, I live in the past century. I don't live in the modern times. And thinking back to when I was in high school, which was in the 1960s, I don't recall any fights at the school. Maybe a couple of guys out in the parking lot, outside.
You didn't fight in the building.
I don't
You were
remember there was
outside.
ever any fights at all. I don't remember girls fighting physically. I don't remember teachers becoming involved in any kind of altercation with kids. It was a calmer atmosphere.
Things are different now.
I know,
which is
but
not
why
great.
are the things different? Is it because parents aren't paying much attention? Is it because our society sort of condones this kind of violence?
Could be outside substances too. Could be involved.
Yeah, I think there's a
don't know.
lot
So,
of
yeah.
things. I think it's a lot of things. It's that are affecting what goes on today.
I did hear about the whole assaulting referee thing, and they want to change it into a felony here in Rhode Island. And as opposed to a misdemeanor. I said, well, how about this? How about if you get convicted of assaulting a referee and you're convicted of it, you now have to become the referee for a season, not just one game. You're going to go, if it's basketball, you're going from the whole 3-month thing. And if you assault a hockey referee, you better know how to skate because you're going out there. And you'll see how easy this is.
Right.
Wouldn't that be a great deterrent?
Yeah, it would
You
be.
think you're so smart? You get out there and you referee. This is a tough job.
Well, maybe I don't know about the assaulting a referee statute, but any kind of if I go out there and punch you in the face because I'm angry, I've
what it comes to.
committed assault and battery. That's not going to be necessarily a misdemeanor. It doesn't have to be a referee. So any protection they have directly for referees can also be amplified by having prosecuted on the regular statutes of assault and battery and things like that.
No called in, 766-1240 to the panel, specifically Sue. Love to hear your comments. You're quite interesting.
Well, thank you.
Great.
Isn't that nice?
Good.
That's very
Is
nice.
that you, Alex?
So one more thing before we take a break here on the Coffee Am program. It's just talk about bizarre. I don't know if you heard about this. 2 bodies were found in a car in the parking lot at Miriam Hospital
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
yesterday morning.
I heard that.
And now, according to Providence Police Chief Oscar Perez, says it's unclear how long the bodies have been in the vehicle. Well, it's been so cold out, maybe the decomposing has really slowed down.
Right, and there was snow on the car.
Okay.
It doesn't say how much, though.
No, and so the incident's under investigation, but the deaths do not appear to be suspicious. So is this a suicide?
Well,
Is it a carbon monoxide thing?
You know, if it's not suspicious, there's a few things it can be. Whether it's murder-suicide, which I doubt. Carbon monoxide could be.
Could be.
Overdose is
be.
a very strong possibility.
Yep. So the bodies are with the medical examiner to determine what the exact cause of death was. And it makes you wonder, how long were they in the cars in the parking lot before someone noticed
so
they were there?
when you kind of do a little math, back it up, how much snow was on it? It wasn't since that storm that we had that Sunday.
All right.
And then there was some snow, but I had snow in my car this morning, and I had snow,
dusting, yeah.
I think yesterday was a little dusting. So, you just don't know.
It also might have been hypothermia. Maybe they just
Could
froze.
have been hypothermia, too. That's another one. Yeah. Now, it doesn't say yet, are they husband and wife?
Right.
Is it a man and a woman? Is it two guys? Is it two women? We don't know yet. They have not said. It's just bizarre.
Bizarre,
The fact
yeah.
that it's in the parking lot of a hospital.
Were they put there?
Oh, no.
Died someplace else.
Right,
Someone drove them there. Doesn't say they were in the front seat. They could have been in the back seat. I don't know.
right. You don't know.
There's a lot. There's still a lot of
A
questions.
lot missing, a lot of
as the
info
investigation
missing.
is-
And plus,
Go into a television show.
but
Yeah.
the parking lot at Miriam is always full.
Always.
So
Yes.
it wouldn't be like, hey,
It wouldn't draw attention.
We're closed and there's still a car there. It
Yeah.
wouldn't
Right.
have drawn any attention whatsoever.
Well, eventually it did.
See, stuff like that draws attention to me because, I do a quick mathematical, okay, why is there snow on that car? The sun's shining, it snowed a week ago.
Yeah.
Whatever I try to do, process of elimination.
So more on that to come. Film on 11 on that one.
Not only is Sue good in talking, she's a detective, too. This works.
Well, Sue's going to be good at talking about the Blackstone Valley Calling Times right now. So we need a second message, please, Sue.
Alrighty. Again, I have lots of advertising opportunities. Some of you may or may not know that we even build websites. So if you're looking to get an upgrade, an update, and what's nice about it is we take care of the website. You don't have to go in and try to maneuver, your hours. We can do that for you, and it can be implemented immediately, unlike, waiting a week for your specials to be posted, that type of thing. But again, we are located at 154 Main Street. If you're looking for back issues of the paper or anything of the sort, you can head there. Christina's also there. You can call me to make sure that she's in at 401-487-4136 or Christina at 767-8503.
All right, Sue, thanks. Time for a break on the Coffee and program. More coming up, and time for the weather forecast brought to us by Mothers Against Drunk Driving.
Mostly sunny skies today with a high near 34 degrees and a breeze from the northwest. Tonight, mostly clear skies, overnight low of 14. Friday's weather, sunshine with a high of 36 and a breeze from the west. Friday night, a 20% chance of some snow. Little or no accumulation is expected. Saturday, a slight chance of some snow in the morning left over from Friday night. Mostly sunny for the remainder of the day with a high of 39. Again, no accumulation is expected. Sunday, mostly sunny and 40 degrees. Sunday night, we got a 30% chance of some snow in the wee hours overnight. Mostly cloudy, 24. No accumulation is expected. And that leftover snow from Sunday night could be seen on Monday morning before noontime on Washington's birthday. Mostly cloudy skies for the entire day Monday with a high of 40 degrees. Tuesday, mostly sunny and 44 degrees. And next Wednesday, there's a 50-50 chance of rain and snow, otherwise mostly cloudy skies with a high of 43 degrees on Wednesday.
Outside the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Ave and Kennedy Street with the sunny skies. We're a little below freezing right now. We're at 27 degrees. For victims of drunk and drug driving, your grief is unique, but you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call the 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
All right, we have an update on the entertainment at Chan's for you. The No Static Tour, a tribute to Steely Dan, tomorrow night at Chan's, sold out. Sorry about that, gang. Can't buy a ticket at any price. We're at room capacity. You could still go to Chan's and enjoy Little Miss and the Boom Valentine's Party on February 14th. Bring somebody special. Inspired by the retro musical stylings of yesteryear and borrowing from swing, blues, jazz, and rockabilly, you'll love the music. The band blends old-time tones into modern performance for all audiences. 20 in advance, 25 at the door. Bring somebody special to Chan's on Saturday night. And coming up next Friday, the 20th, Kim Trusty at Chan's, 267 Main Street, Woonsocket, and you gotta have the food too at Chan's. Krakow Deli Bakery Smokehouse offers authentic homemade Polish food to make your next meal special. Try our many varieties of hot and fresh pierogies with onions and what they call dirty sour cream. Or pick up golubki, kielbasa, babkas, or some fresh rye bread. We also offer a large selection of specialty and imported foods. Open Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, 9 in the morning till 6 p.m., Wednesdays, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturdays from 8 to 5 p.m. It's Krakow Deli Bakery Smokehouse. Follow us on Facebook and learn about our weekly specials. Located at 855 Social Street, Woonsocket, Krakow Deli Bakery Smokehouse has all the authentic Polish foods you love.
When it comes to emergency service for plumbing and heating, you can't beat C.J. Nemus, 37 Corey Street in Woonsocket. C.J. Nemus offers over 15 years of experience and is licensed in both Rhode Island and Massachusetts. C.J. Nemus offers complete heating system service, plumbing, water heaters, plus drain and sewer cleaning. Remember that senior citizens receive a 10% discount. So give Charlie a call today at C.J. Nemus, 769-4776. They're registered with the Better Business Bureau. They're a master plumber with quality service. It's the only way and the best way. With C.J. Nemus, call today, 769-4776 for C.J. Nemus.
ON AM and FM.
It is Coffee In here on ON AM and FM. Thanks for joining us this morning. Joe Callan here, along with Sue Tester-McKenzie, Bob Lauder. And Bob, time for a first message from your law office, please.
Good morning. Thank you. This is Attorney Bob Lauder. While some of us may have been sleepwalking through the snow since Christmas, Rhode Island Supreme Court has been at work reviewing appeals and writing decisions. I'd like to discuss a couple of them with you this morning. The first case is that of 110 North Main LLC versus Shoreby Hill Properties, Inc. Providence Firefighters Realty Company desired to purchase real estate located on Harris Avenue in Providence. The firefighters submitted to a broker of the owner of the property and offered to purchase the Harris Avenue real estate. The broker accepted the offer via an email and indicated that the attorney for the Harris property would send a formal purchase and sale agreement to firefighters. Firefighters subsequently learned that the Harris Avenue owner had received a higher offer, and firefighters increased their offer and received from the attorney for the Harris property an amended purchase and sale agreement. Firefighters signed the amended agreement and returned it to the attorney for Harris. The owner of the Harris Avenue property refused to sign the contract and entered into an agreement to sell the property to another individual. Firefighters filed an action in the Superior Court seeking to compel this sale to them. They argue that a contract had been formed when the broker accepted the offer and the attorney sent the purchase and sale agreement for signature. The court disagreed. The court wrote that while the statute of frauds does not require contracts for the sale of land to be in writing, any oral agreement must be evidenced by sufficient memorandum, and such memorandum must be signed by the party to be charged, that is, the owner of the land. The court wrote that although there was a volume of communications between the owner of Harris and the firefighters, and the attorney for the owners sent a purchase and sale agreement to the firefighters, there was no note or memorandum sufficient to satisfy the statute of frauds, because the owner of Harris Avenue had never signed any of the documents. If you think my office may be assistant to you in legal matters, please call me for an appointment. My name is Bob Lauder. My telephone number is 762-4550. And the disclaimer: the Supreme Court of Rhode Island licenses all attorneys in the general practice of law. The court does not license or certify any attorney as an expert or specialist in any field of practice. Thank you.
All right there, Bob. Thanks. Well, not only do we have the situation at Woonsocket High, there's other things going on at the high schools around the state. The Newport School Committee has placed their principal on leave for the rest of the year.
Yep.
Why?
Well, there was an assault on a special needs student by 4 other guys back in October. So they had a special independent investigation into what was going on here, and the investigation revealed concerns about student safety, staff awareness, administrative oversight, and institutional culture. So something's not good down there at Rogers High.
Something went on.
So the investigators made 27 recommendations. That seems like a lot. Things that need to change for the school, including creation of a student advisory board and an anonymous real-time reporting system for students and staff. 4 students have been arrested in connection with the October assault. That was all caught on camera, and I guess they're not happy with what happened with the principal. So Jared Vance is his name, and he's just doesn't say if he's paid. I don't know. It just says he's on leave for the rest of the year.
I'd like to know what the other recommendations of this investigation are, because
that's all I got is what I told you.
Yeah, some of that seems sort of wordplay.
Yeah,
and not something of substance as to what we're actually going to do.
I'm sure there's more somewhere. Sue, look that up.
That's what I'm trying to
see
do.
See if you can find something on that. But in West Warwick, a school bus driver, he's on leave. He crashed his bus. Wednesday morning accident. The crash happened at West Warwick Avenue and Washington Street after the driver hit a snowbank and then hit a light pole. 13 students were on the bus along with the driver and a bus monitor. They're on all the buses. One student suffered minor injuries, was taken to a hospital for treatment. The accident remains under investigation. The bus driver is on leave as of yesterday morning after the accident.
Wow.
So lots going on with school departments around the state of Rhode Island. So things that's what's going on there. You want the good news though, Bob?
Yes.
Sue? All right. The
Is
good
it
news
high
is
school? You said it's Rogers High.
Rogers High in Newport. See if you can find what any of the other 27 recommendations were. But the good news is T.F. Green Airport is the fastest growing major airport in the U.S. for the second year in a row. So things are good down at Green.
Fastest growing, I imagine, means they have more flights than they had previously.
According to the U.S. Department of Transportation data, the total number of passengers at T.F. Green increased by 11%, and a total seat capacity increased by 10%. The numbers reflect the airport's growth over a 12-month period that ended in October of 2025. The Rhode Island Airport Corporation says PVS, I don't know what PVS is, Providence was the only major airport in the country to achieve double-digit passenger and seat growth for the time period. And have you seen the ads on TV for Fly RI?
Yes.
Sue, have you seen it? Have you seen it?
Yes.
Aren't they great?
Yeah, they're very good.
And if you look down to the left, you'll see the gridlock heading to Logan Airport.
I hear that, and I'm
great.
picturing the plane in the air and thinking the only way I'm looking to the left and seeing Boston is if I'm flying east, like across the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah. Well, there aren't any flights going that way.
No,
but-
so really you'd be looking out the right-hand side of
yeah.
your
Well,
your
maybe
flight.
he says right hand side.
No,
I'm
he
not
doesn't.
sure.
He says left.
Does he say left?
Yes.
And any flight leaving from Green isn't going north either. They're all going west or south. So,
But it's still a cute commercial. Yes.
Avoid the BS at BOS. I think that's
Yes.
awesome.
Right.
Someone.
And as a person that always drove in and out of the airports, I'll tell you what.
That's a great
when
shot they
we-
got of the back of traffic.
Yep, when we had a booking, when a customer would call, I should say, and, reserve a car to go to the airport.
Yeah.
When they said Green Airport, it was like, yes.
Oh yes.
Nice and easy.
Yep.
Nice and easy.
In and out, no
Yep.
issues. It'd probably be the same now if you were running it now. If they said, "Oh, we're taking you to Worcester Airport,"
Yeah,
which I
Worcester's
also
another one.
understand it's incredibly easy to get in and out of there.
Yeah, been there too.
Logan is just it's hunker down and get ready, and you just never know what's going to happen.
Years
on your
ago-
on your way to Boston.
I had a friend who they were coming back from a flight, and they had hired, it wasn't Sue's limo, it was another limo company, and they didn't have the phones for each of them, but they all had my phone. And the travelers were saying, "We can't find the limo. We don't know where he is." And the limo driver was calling me and saying, "They're not
Can't
here."
find them, yeah.
And okay, where are you? Hold up your hand, wave. They're down that side of the aisle. It worked.
Did it?
Yeah,
Wow.
but,
I think everybody's waving.
Right?
What are you wearing? Wave your red hat, kind of thing.
So, dumb question, going back to Rogers,
Okay.
what did you ask me to look for?
There's 27 recommendations.
Okay, that's what I found. All
Okay,
right.
that this independent investigator came up with that said that things are going to change at
Yeah.
Rogers. So what are some of the recommendations?
Well,
So-
they have to have two-way, hold on, alternate learning programs incorporating input. Not, obviously when you have the disability going on. Dress code policy even has to be changed and enforced. Wearing of hats in school system is not the best practice. That's under number 8, so they're all. The wearing of hoods has to be. So what they did is this happened, and they just went full force
On everything.
on everything.
Yeah.
Which,
Okay.
you know what? Sometimes that's what you got to do.
I guess. I don't know how it's going to stop assaults, but okay.
No. But, there's a whole, set up a collaborative parent-teachers organization. Currently, they don't
have one.
serve in an
Okay.
official right. So there are certain things like that. Sometimes you have to set up, a task force.
I guess.
So
Yeah.
you set up a task force.
Like the student advisory board. Yeah.
Right. But with the task force, you have adults, like right here in Woonsocket. Get the mayor and
Get everybody involved.
somebody from
Yeah.
the police, a representative from the police department,
Okay.
representative from the school, a student representative, and you get these people in, you discuss. Even, what you run into a lot is, well, that's unethical, or you can't do that, and these different groups step in, and I'm not going to name initials because I know that I got the wrong one in the top of my head, so I'm not going down
don't
that
do
road. But you all know what I'm talking about when people step in and say, no, you can't do that because of this. So get some of them involved. And
Yeah.
tell us what can be done, as part of the task force.
Bob's got a very concerned look on his face.
I know.
Bob
As
is
he's
just
listening.
Bob is just thinking that a lot of this sounds like word
Bob
salad.
stopped
We're
it.
going to
Word salad.
Bob
all right.
stopped it when I said hoodies. Right away, which, I kind of, same thing,
No hoodies in the classroom.
right?
Okay.
It's like when you walk into a bank or a credit union. No sunglasses, no hats, no hoodies.
Now, I could never understand when it comes to a bank, Bob, maybe you have the answer to this, but, and I'm going to pick on Banquet Island, because Banquet Island was robbed, we'll say 10 years ago. So when you walk into Banquet Island, you have your door, a little bit of a hallway, and then another door.
Okay.
Why can't that second door be locked?
Locked.
And there's a reason for it, and I don't know what it is, because you typically don't, banks aren't buzzing you in. A jewelry store can do it.
Yeah, that's right.
But there's something about the bank.
Is it a safety issue?
I don't know.
We don't want someone freaking out and starting shooting everybody.
Well, that's kind of
If
dumb.
he's
'Cause
locked
then
in.
if they walk in, sorry, I'm not saying you're dumb, but it's a stupid reason, if that be the reason, because if you're trying to, you have to be buzzed in. So if I'm looking at you and you're standing there with the face mask on, I
not coming
don't
in.
have to let you
in.
I mean, it's kind of next level safety. Jewelry stores put a buzzer.
Yeah,
Every jewelry store I go to, you got to buzz in.
that's right. Yeah.
So
All right. We're going to take another break here on the Coffee AM program, so we're going to throw it back over to Bob and see what he has to say about his law office.
Thank you. Good morning. This is Attorney Bob Lauder. The second Rhode Island Supreme Court decision I'd like to discuss with you this morning involves the legal standard which a court must apply when considering issuing an order the defendant surrender firearms. And this is the case of Andrew versus Ordano. The plaintiff, in this case, sought judicial protection under the provisions of the Protect Rhode Island Families Act, which gives to the district and the Superior Court the right to compel a defendant to surrender their firearms during a period of when a protective order has been issued by the court. Now, this is a civil and it's not a criminal action. And following a hearing in the district court, the judge had issued an order compelling the defendant to surrender his firearms. The defendant claimed a fresh trial de novo in the Superior Court. Now, trial de novo is a fresh trial on the same issues heard in the district court. The original complaint and the evidence of the plaintiff is introduced, and the defendant has the opportunity to defend and challenge the evidence. In the Superior Court, the judge said that due to the implications which any firearms order would have upon the defendant's Second Amendment constitutional rights, when considering the veracity of the plaintiff's evidence, the judge would impose a standard of clear and convincing evidence rather than the standard of preponderance of the evidence. Now, while this may seem to be much of a difference, the clear and convincing standard used in criminal cases imposes on a moving party an obligation to provide a higher and more compelling quality of evidence than the mere preponderance of the evidence, which is used in civil cases. For in the mind of a trier of fact, the evidence against one of the parties just has to cross the 50% justifiable mark. In the Andrew case, the Superior Court trial judge applied the clear and convincing standard and ruled that inasmuch as the witness was a he said, she said case without corroborating witnesses, the court would use the clear and convincing standard. The court did not find clear and convincing evidence that the defendant posed a danger due to his possession of the firearms, and the court dissolved the protective order. The defendant was not required to surrender his firearms. The plaintiff, that is the party who sought the protective order in the beginning, filed an appeal to the state Supreme Court. She argued that she should not have been required to establish the validity of her case by the higher standard of proof. The Supreme Court agreed. The court wrote that when it found evidence that the General Assembly of the State of Rhode Island, when enacting the Protective Family Rhode Island Families Act, intended the court to apply the elevated standard of a civil procedure to protective order proceedings. When the legislature includes particular language in one section of the statute but omits it in another section of the same act, it's generally presumed that the legislature acted intentionally and purposely in the disparate inclusion or exclusion. And while the Protect Rhode Island Families Act provided that any individual seeking the return of the firearms had to provide clear and convincing evidence that the restoration of firearms to his possession would not pose a danger to the person suffering from the domestic abuse, the Act made no such requirement for the establishment of the need for the firearms to be surrendered. If you think my office may be assisting you in legal matters, please call me for an appointment. My name is Bob Lauder. My telephone number is 762-4550. And the disclaimer, the Supreme Court of Rhode Island licenses all attorneys in the general practice of law. The court does not license or certify any attorney as an expert or specialist in any field of practice. Thank you.
All right, Bob, thanks. And the Coffee and program will continue right here on ON, AM, and FM.
ON Radio.
Due to higher prices for food, gas for the car, and utilities, the bills piled up, and I got worried.
For years, the Good Neighbor Energy Fund has responded by providing energy assistance to local households.
Thanks to the fund, my family is getting through this tough time.
If your household is having trouble paying the heating bills, please contact a CAP agency, call United Way 211, or visit Rhode-IslandGoodNeighbor.org. Ad sponsored by the Rhode Island Broadcasters Association.
Hello, this is Melissa, and here's what's happening in the Valley. Have you been trying to do family research or want to look at newspaper stories from years ago? Drop into the Call's Digital Archives Information Session Monday, February 23rd from 2 to 3:30 p.m. Learn how to use the library's digital archives, compiling the Woonsocket Call from 1900 to 1975, including techniques and navigation. Call 401-767-4124 for information. This takes place in the large program room at Woonsocket Harris Public Library, 303 Clinton Street in Woonsocket. Do you have an event you'd like to share? Email us at events@woonsocketradio.com.
ON Worldwide.
Here we are on Coffee and thanks for joining us. Joe Callahan here with Bob Lauder and Sue Tessier McKenzie. Well, we talked earlier, Bob, about the alleged assaults that took place at Woonsocket High, where a girl and the boy have allegedly were beating up another girl, and then one of the younger girl allegedly punched the Woonsocket police officer. Well, it happens with adults too, and a woman up in Worcester. I bring it up. And she's a city councilor in Worcester.
Okay.
She's been convicted of assault and battery on a police officer following a protest last year. So prosecutors say, I'm going to butcher this name. It's Atel Haxihiaja struck an officer during an ICE operation, and on Wednesday, the jury found her guilty of the assault charge. And she and her attorney, they're considering an appeal. So here he is. We talk about a kid in the heat of the moment, maybe punching an officer. Now we have an adult, right? In the heat of a female adult punching an ICE officer, or a regular police officer during an ICE protest. So
emotions get very high, and people
just because you're a female, you can't hit. It's just
right. Well,
you can't do it.
Nobody should be hitting a police officer, but
that's true. So or
anybody,
but it happens. It happens with kids, and now here's just an example of it happening with adults. So. And she's a city councilor in Worcester.
Right.
I don't know how it's going to help your political career. So yesterday, and how about this? It may have affected some people. Amtrak service between New York and Boston and New York and New Haven was canceled.
Why?
Wednesday night, loss of overhead power.
Wow.
That's unusual.
Yeah, passengers can rebook for another day at no additional charge or request a full refund. But where do you stay?
Right.
And it comes, New York to Boston comes right through Rhode Island.
Loss of overhead
Loss
power.
of overhead power. Electrical stuff. I don't know if it's because of the weather. Was it too cold? I don't know. They can request a full refund, and tickets between New Haven and New York are being honored on Metro North service to Grand Central Terminal. But anyway, Amtrak service was down Wednesday night between New York and Boston and right through Rhode Island.
Here's what the overhead power is.
Okay.
That's just what it says. They lost overhead power. So
That's a long corridor to have a power
well,
failure.
somewhere in Connecticut, I would say.
Yeah.
Well, if you stop somewhere in Connecticut, well, we can't get going again because the power's out. So maybe the power's only out for, I don't know, a mile, but we can't get going again. This kind of thing.
Reminds me of the
good old
song
days.
"Subways Are for Sleeping."
You can't. You just can't throw the coal in the fire anymore and get the engine going again.
Good.
It's all electric. It's all electrical
And you stare
now.
at me when you're telling me that because you know that I was.
Oh, yeah, I know
Okay.
you know what I'm talking about.
Thank you.
And I think it's amusing that the governor of New Hampshire, Kelly Ayotte, she's reaching down into Massachusetts, saying, "Hey, businesses in Mass, why don't you come to New Hampshire? Why don't you relocate? No taxes up here."
That makes sense.
Yeah. The governor said the Granite State ranks in the top 10 nationally for business climates, while Massachusetts is in the bottom 10. Concord's nice. Manchester's nice. Salem's right over the border. It's nice. And don't think she's not going to work her way down into Rhode Island, too. What do they mean by overhead power, Sue?
Well, when you look at
they're the
train
power
station,
lines, yeah.
but they're directly affiliated with. They were implemented in the 1990s
Yeah.
with the Amtrak.
All right.
So it's
Okay.
a direct correlation.
I'm glad Sue's here to do the research on these things. It makes us sound more intelligent.
Yeah. Well, it affected the Amtrak train, so
Yep.
you're stuck here. We're not moving. So anyway, this is in the world of celebrity entertainment. Sad news that the actor James Van Der Beek passes away. He was 48 years old, relatively young. You probably don't know who this guy is, do you, Bob?
Absolutely not.
He was there was a big hit show 25 years ago called Dawson's Creek.
Deer in the
Deer in the
headlights
headlights
here.
again. Okay, and he was the star of it.
Okay.
when he was a young man.
All right.
Playing a high school kid. Unfortunately, he developed colorectal cancer in 2023. He went public in 2024, and they announced his death just yesterday on Instagram that he passed away. He was 48 years old. And I bring it up because a GoFundMe page has been set up for the family of him, and so far they have generated more than $1.1 million as of early this morning.
Wow.
And I'm thinking, this man made a lot of money in his acting career. Did it all go to his cancer treatment? Was he penniless here at the end? I don't know. But I'm thinking, why?
I would think you'd also have a good insurance policy.
Well, yeah, and I'm thinking, if you're an actor and a what's the word I'm looking for? I'm not good, but had a good career. Let's look at it that way. You would have money. You don't need a GoFundMe page from your fans to send money. If they want to, I guess. It just says at the end of the story, the GoFundMe page notes that Van Der Beek's wife, Kimberly, and their 6 kids face an uncertain future, having spent almost everything. Okay, that answers my question.
Yeah.
They spent everything on James's medical care. So all the money he made
Which I
while
can relate
acting,
to that.
well,
I can relate to that part of it.
It went all through his cancer treatments. So wow. I guess they do need the money. So that was my question.
Okay.
Does a successful actor really need a GoFundMe page? And apparently the answer is yes in this situation. So okay.
I'm surprised at the
I've answered
number
my
of
own
children he
question.
had because nowadays it sounds as though families are primarily not having as many kids as they used to in the past. 1 or 2 seems to max out
Yeah.
a lot of families.
But
Okay.
48 years old, had 6.
Okay,
That's,
good.
quite a lot. All right. A couple of good stories. We have a disabled elevator in West Hartford, Connecticut. Had 2 people and 2 dogs trapped in the elevator. But they're all safe. They were rescued last night, and an entangled leash caused the doors to derail and become inoperable. The leash from the dogs. Firefighters opened the top hatch, just like you see in the movies.
Yep.
They lower themselves down. They open up the top hatch of the elevator, and they lowered a ladder and got everybody out. The people and the dogs were unharmed. Doesn't say how long they were stuck in there, but it's one of the good things about having cell phones now. If you get stuck in an elevator, if you can't find the little phone, do they even work in the elevator? You get your cell phone. Hey, I'm stuck. What building are you in? You should know what building you're in. And I'm stuck. In what elevator are you in? Well, there's only one, so okay, come get us. So
the dogs must have been pretty annoyed, though. They had to be cooped up with the people for all that period of time. Come on.
Hopefully, they like who the people they were with. Not such a great story out of Pennsylvania. Multiple cows have passed away, and several others are recovering after they had to be rescued from a frozen pond.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, fire officials say 7 cows were found stuck in a frozen pond this week. While the water was only a few feet deep, the cows were stuck in several feet of mud that was below the water. In total, 3 of the cows died, while 4 others were rescued. I wonder why they walked out there. Is it just part of their pasture that they're out in, where they're eating hay, and they just walked out onto looking for water? Maybe they knew that's where water was.
I have no idea.
But now they're stuck in the frozen mud and can't get out. That's a shame that 3 of them died. 4 were rescued. Because you got to bring in the heavy equipment. If you're going to move a stuck cow out of the mud, you just can't you can't just coax them. Come on, just walk.
Wow.
You got to go get those lifts. And
I saw a YouTube video of a rescue of a horse, I think in North Smithfield a few years ago, and that was a major effort to get the animal out of the water.
You got to try to calm the animal too, because they're going to be kicking and try fighting on the whole thing. So it gets bad. All right, that'll do it for the show for today. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone.
Thank you. Hope you have a good Valentine's Day too.
I hope you do as well. Remember, get something nice, but not too nice.
The bag of M&Ms isn't going to do it then, right? No.
Make it two.
If she loves M&Ms, you get the M&Ms with some flowers. Put them M&Ms in a nice bag, little ribbon. It's the thought. If that's what you want.
Little effort, Bob.
Yeah.
That's what they're looking for.
I'm glad Sue can provide me this guidance.
I can rationalize any gift.
There you go. Bob, thanks for coming in today.
Thank you for having me. Hope to see you next week.
Sue, thanks for being here.
Thank you. Have a great rest of the week and a good weekend. Happy Valentine's Day.
All right, this is Joe Callahan. Have a great day, everyone. And do you remember with Gary Smith of the crew coming up after the 9 o'clock news right here on ON Radio.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket Radio.